our meeting to order. We are all present, school board members. As is our recent custom, I would request that we all stand, face the flag, and say the Pledge of Allegiance. If you are not inclined to do so, that is your prerogative. Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any additions, amendments to the board agenda? I will make one. We'll call it B1. In conversation earlier with some young ladies that stopped into my office, I will allot them a minute to make a presentation to us. I think we've had that discussion already. So we will just call that dance discussion. And ladies, like we talked about, I'll give you a minute or so just to state your point. I'm going to call on you to come up here and talk to us. Okay. Any other additions? If not, I would look for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Pat.
I'll second.
Seconded by Rob. Other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Approve the minutes from the July 28th, 11th of August, and 18th of August minutes. Have you all had a chance to look them over?
The only correction I have is I wasn't here on the 11th. That shows me as being present.
Okay. Please strike Rob from attendance at that meeting. Are there any other changes or amendments? If not, I would look for a motion to approve. Motion by Jerry,
I'll second.
seconded by Kurt. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. We have no scheduled presenters this evening, so we'll move down to the finance report. Josh?
The attachment be there. The first page is your cash flow worksheet, and just to kind of give you an idea where we're at, about $2.8 million in the checking account as of now. Nothing real outstanding as far as what's going in and out or what I have reported for you. Just kind of know at the end of the cash flow, at the end of October, we'll be receiving the first half of our Goodhue County tax settlement. That's just an estimate in there right now. The second half will come at the beginning of November. As we get the numbers from the county, we'll put the actuals in. As it looks right now, we should be okay to not have to do aid anticipation borrowing this fiscal year, although we will be pretty tight when it comes to making our debt service payment and the cash flow. But as it looks right now, probably not having to do any aid anticipation borrowing again. Next page is going to be a summary of the last month reconciled. So we've got July 2014 and kind of compared against July 2013. This is cash, not fund balance, but as we kind of talked about with budget for fiscal year 14, we were going to be spending down the fund balance almost $400,000, and we are, as you look in cash here, about $400,000 behind where we were at this point last year. Some of that is the payment status from the state and switching to 90/10 and staying more consistent all the way through fiscal year 14. We have a more catch-up in fiscal year 13 than we do in fiscal year 14. Is for some of that reason, but a lot of it is because we did spend down the fund balance, so you're going to have more expenditures than you did revenues in fiscal year 14. The other one's not a whole lot of variance in between. I'll let you look at the next couple pages, going to be the detail, and kind of talk about the general fund already. The large cleanup payments for the state for last fiscal year generally come in August. Like I said, they fund 90/10, so we'll receive 10% of fiscal year 14 money in fiscal year 15, which usually comes in that August payment. So we should see a little bump in there in the general fund. But like I said, we are about $400,000 behind in the general fund as we were at this point last year. And then we could talk about that through budgeting, and that's what would happen. That's kind of the summary. If you have any questions, I can do my best to help answer for you.
For any who have a copy of the cash activity, please know that our fund balance is absolutely a snapshot in time. We haven't paid some of our bills yet. That'll quickly reduce us. So Anybody have any statements, questions for Josh? If not, I'd look for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Rob,
No second.
second by Kurt. Other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. We have no old business. Under new business, we have these items under the consent agenda. It looks like there's only one attached item under personnel. These are pretty much considered routine items for us. If for any reason someone wants to pull off one of the items under the consent agenda and deal with it separately, we sure can. Otherwise, I would look for a motion to approve the consent
I'll make a
agenda.
motion to approve.
Brenda made the motion, Jerry seconded. Other discussion?
I would just like to add that we did find a technology coordinator today, and we're really, really excited that he has verbally accepted. We don't have anything in writing yet, but we'll have that on your next agenda, but he will be starting prior to your next meeting. Rob was on that interview panel, and I'm sure he can attest that we've got a great candidate, and we're very, very excited.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. All in favor of the consent agenda as shown, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Approval of the expenditures, attachment D. So the bills we paid over the last month or so. Anyone have any questions on those?
I got two. 42647 Abra, in Red Wing for the bus garage. There's something fixed.
Just some body work on one of the buses.
Okay.
Actually, maybe one of the vans to be more accurate.
And a 42725 Interstate Power Systems. What was that?
Yep, to go through the generator we have outside, when it was put in, when the building was remodeled and replaced, it hadn't really been gone through since then. And just kind of check to make sure everything's up and running, and we'll take care of it when it's needed.
Okay.
Anyone else? Now I'd look for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Pat, second by Jerry. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. Okay, B1, dance. Ladies, would you like to come up? Or lady, would you like to come up? One, or if you need some moral support, you can sure invite a second. There's no real good spot, is there?
You're good right there. She's most comfortable there.
Sure.
All right. Hi, good evening. My name is Madeline, and I'm a senior at Cannon Falls High School and have been on this Bomber Dance team since 7th grade. I would like to address the renewal of the Bomber Dance team coaching staff. The Bomber Dance team wouldn't be where we are today without the wonderful coaches this dance team is so blessed to have over the years, and especially our current coaches. To make this dance team successful, there needs to be talented dancers who are willing to give it their all, killer choreography, amazing coaches who know what they are doing, and a community who is supportive. This dance team is lucky enough to have all of those things. We have coaches that would do anything for us and in no way mean for any harm. Our coaches love us like their own children, and we as dancers love them just as much. We know that Coach Maddie takes full responsibility and now recognizes that notification to school personnel regarding the campground on school property should have happened. Each situation, no matter what, needs to have the facts looked at closely. A person is not convicted of a crime without having and knowing all the facts inside and out. Coach Maddie did not bring the cap gun. Once Maddie realized it was there, she immediately turned on the lights and had the cap gun put away. Coach Maddie saw that no girl was distressed and knew at all times that we were safe. Immediately after, we were all in the cafeteria laughing and talking. We as a team know this is a situation not to be taken lightly. We understand the difficult situation we are all in and the sensitive subject of school violence. We also know that acknowledging mistakes, learning from them, and being given second chances should not be taken for granted. I'm thankful for all the second chances I have been given. We all need a second chance in our lives. We feel that not renewing Coach Maddie's contract because of a notification issue is way over the top. Without all the hardships, bumps in the roads, this dance team wouldn't be this strong and this committed to stand next to each other, being there for one another, and helping each other back to their feet. We stand tall and proud to be Bomber dancers. I hope that you will take everything in and think about this decision you have to make and understand that this dance team has worked its tail off to be where it is today. And that's all thanks to our wonderful and caring coaches. We hope that you will renew Maddie's contract because we all believe in her. The coaching staff and the entire team will be better because of this experience. I hope you make the right choice in renewing Maddie's contract. We appreciate your consideration in helping us grow as a team with Maddie as a coach. Thank you.
Hey Bob, could we bring that with for in the closed session just for reference? It's something we can
Yeah, I guess I don't see any reason
just bring.
leave that for Beth, would you please? Item C, consideration to go into closed session pursuant to Minnesota Statute 13D-05, Subdivision 2B, for preliminary consideration of allegations or charges against an individual subject to its authority. We're going to close the session, and I will need a motion and a second. The following people will be included in: Rob, Brenda, Jerry, Bob, Beth, Pat, Kurt, in addition, Tim, Jake, Winchell, Lori, Derek, and Michael. We're going to retire to the main boardroom and have some brief discussion, and we'll be back whenever we can be back.
Do I have to make a motion? I'll make a motion that we adjourn to into
No,
special
the
session.
motion's already there, you just.
Oh, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Second. Rob? Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. We'll be back as soon as we can. You got this one? Yep. Conversation 2014-15 curriculum instruction, C&I, proposed levy payable 15. Anything else that you have, please contact either Beth or Lori, and we can either get it added or otherwise included at the next board meeting. Public forum. Most of you are here for just one agenda item, and we allow public forum input for as long as 3 to 5 minutes. If it gets, in light of the fact we have so many folks here, I think we should limit our time to a minute. If it continues to be the same conversation, then we'll end up cutting it off because we'll get the gist of what your opinions are on this. If anyone has need to make a statement, I wish you would stand up, state your name, and what you have to say.
My name's Cheryl Bauer, and I guess the statement I have to make is a really important decision was made here tonight, and I know it wasn't an easy decision, and it was about something that involved many people and their families. And my question or statement is, I haven't, except for through the grapevine, I haven't heard about the incident that has brought this to this kind of an escalation, and I'm wondering where that stood. Did it stood with the coaches or with the school? If we have an issue that has grown to this proportion with something that involved an event that our daughters were in, whose responsibility did it lie on to inform the parents that there was any kind of an issue happening?
It's not so much a Q&A time, or else we could be here.
Okay, that's my statement. My statement is I come here tonight listening to a decision that's been made, and I still feel like a parent of the dance team, I have never not been given any clarification or any even notification that there was any kind of an incident that brought this meeting and what's all it's come to happen. And I'm just making the statement that I feel like somewhere down the line I should have heard this officially rather than just through bits and pieces through the grapevine of a small town. And that's my statement.
Anyone else?
I'd like to make a statement. I'm Erin Kersey. I'm former coach of this Bomber Dance team. I was here from 2007 to 2011. I came down from Minneapolis today in support of the coaching staff and most importantly of these girls. This is not a small matter to them, and it is not a small matter to me. This Bomber Dance team is a family, and one that I will always be proud of being coach of, and you girls have my support 100% in everything you do, okay? I just want to say that coaches are very real human beings, and we are entrusted with your daughters' hearts and minds and lives and well-being, and we take that very seriously as coaches, and I know that these ladies take that extremely seriously as well. And we had an opportunity tonight to teach these girls that doing the right thing takes courage. And I think what happened here is that you've made a decision that makes adults happy. And what we needed to do was make a decision that was in the best interest of these students. And these ladies have done nothing but demonstrate character, leadership, honesty, straightforward talk, and the desire to do what's right for these girls. And I think that sometimes we needed to make decisions that are not always the most perfect and to the letter of the law. And I think that there were ways that we could have gone about doing this in a way that was going to not punish these kids for what has happened between adults and between policy that is for adults to be happy. It breaks my heart to see these kids be upset about something that could have easily been calmed, dealt with in a direct fashion. I think adults in this room, you need to take a lesson to say this escalated way more than it needed to, and we need to be supportive of our students by remaining calm and diplomatic and handling this without turning it into a black and white policy of you're going to be punished out of something that is a matter of letter of the law policy at this point. So I'm disappointed, and I hope that we can work forward from here to help build this Bomber Dance team as something that I have always been a part of and always supported for years. And I know that these kids have their heart and soul into it. So please, please, from here, find a way to save what these kids have built and give them good leadership then, and find a way to make this situation right. If you needed to do this because you didn't have a choice, now you have a choice to make this movement forward then, and find a way to make things work out for them and to save this for them, because they work way too hard. I get to watch from the outside now, but they work way too hard to just have this be, now you're on your own, and good luck. Here's somebody to babysit you while you work hard. And don't let that happen, please. You know, I respect this team and I respect this community more than anything, but we have an opportunity here to make this right, adults. So please, let that happen. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll close the public forum. You know, as board chair, I get to make sometimes a last statement or a statement of fact or whatever you care to hear. But I first want to laud our administrators for the time and effort they put in this. There's so much going on at the beginning of our school year. There's so much that needs to be done, needs to be accomplished. And this essentially was, I wouldn't say thrown on their table, but caught them by surprise. We as board members hear the community because we're kind of the link between the school personnel and our community members. You ask us to vote how you would vote if you had the information that we have. And that's what eventually came out of this. I know that the administration has had more than 15 interviews to find out what happened. So to say that they didn't take it seriously would be an exaggeration. To say that it was a small matter, again, is not correct. They treated it as the #1 priority that they had on their list for the last 10 days. Everything else got set aside. And I want you to understand that. They just didn't say, well, we'll deal with it later. This took a lot of time and energy. And I won't be defensive about things because I understand that I understand when things happen like this and we don't go according to the policies set forth by the Minnesota School Board Association, that anything that happens into the future, people will refer back to this date and say, why did this happen? Why did you let that happen? Why did you allow this to happen? And now we have a different situation here. We're charged with making decisions. This was out of the board's control as far as what had happened. It was put on our table to make a decision. We had to make a decision according to the MSBA policies. Spending 35 minutes in that room behind closed doors, I want you to know that there was a lot of animated conversation about it because we didn't take it lightly. This was a most difficult decision. I've only been in closed sessions for 3 times in 25 years or 22 years as a board member. It was treated extremely seriously. And when you get a situation like this that was not initiated by the school board, but we're called upon to make a decision such as this, it's extremely difficult. I don't know what else to say about it. It's not anything that we took lightly. We treated it extremely seriously. The grapevine issue, we can't be held accountable for that. I'm not sure how we get that information out. You seem to all have heard about it. So whatever was on the grapevine was not initiated by school district, was not initiated by administration, and was not initiated by the school board itself. So we do the best job with the information we have. There was a situation that 2 policies were clearly broken, and now we have to decide what we're going to do with it. And again, if we don't do something with it, any future policies, they'll refer back to this date and say, what happened there?
But isn't each situation different? You can't vote on setting a precedent because each situation is completely different.
We're not going to get into a Q&A about that. Each situation is different. I'll grant you that. But we treated it that way. We just didn't rubber stamp this through. Or else we could have not gone into closed session and just said, hey, we're going to deal with it this way. So each situation is dealt. And to mention that the board isn't taking it seriously or it's an adult matter isn't entirely true. It is an adult matter because we're the ones that have to deal with it. But again, it wasn't initiated by the board. And we had to take all the information we have. We had to objectively look at more than 15 interviews and say, this is what we believe what happened. I really believe that our administration has been so totally supportive of all the activities and have shown that in the past so many times. This was not an easy decision for them to make, especially being supportive of the coach or the advisor, whatever we're called. So at this time, I would look for a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Kurt, seconded by Rob. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are carried.
Why is MnDOT now using roundabouts? Why have we been using roundabouts over the past few years?
We grew to 92,000 square feet. So we're about 3 times bigger than what we were at the other facility.